Hello, everyone. Brad Logan alongside Coach Chuck Garbone here, Bruce High School football head coach, and excited to bring you the Bruce Trojan football preview show presented by our friends at Arriva and the Piggly Wiggly of Bruce. Coach, first of all, you've been here a couple of years. I know you're excited about this year's squad. Fall camp's about to begin, and football's right around the corner.
Uh, Brad, it's been a great summer. We track attendance in the summer, and we have 26 workouts. And this year we had 16 kids make 26 or more workouts, meaning they came back and worked out another time. We had another 18. So the majority of our team, another 18 make the 20 out of 26 that they had to make. So the majority of our team has been here, been committed, been doing a great job competing this summer and getting better.
I know it starts at the junior high and it worked its way up. I know you're excited to have that great relationship with the junior high team, and you talked about the relationship or not the relationship. You talked about the workouts during the summer. So you've had some buy-in from those junior high programs. So the buy-in was good this summer. Plenty of workouts, and everybody's kind of.
And the junior high too. We have the junior high come. We have 16 workouts for the junior high from June through July, and we tell them that they need to make 10. And I would say 90% of our 7th and 8th graders have made over 10. Which is very important that we bring those 7th graders in and we teach them how to lift weights and we teach them what's important. And then we teach them some basic football skills because over half of our kids didn't play youth football before 7th grade. So we're just kind of getting them started in the summer.
A couple of years on the job now. What are some things that you've enjoyed being the coach here at Bruce?
The competitive nature from the kids. The first year we had guys that I think the senior class had won 3 games or maybe 4 games total over their 3 years, and they wanted it to change for their senior year, and they did a great job of leading that first year. And that was, I think, we went 6-5 and went to the playoffs, and that was the first time Bruce had gone to playoffs. Or no, Bruce had a winning season in 10 years since 2014. So, that was a very good accomplishment for those kids. It's just great to see those kids have that success because of what they changed, in the way that they did things and how important they made it. And I think that's kind of trickled down through the other classes, and just to kind of see the excitement back after, stories you hear, and not that every story is true, but, just to have some excitement about Bruce football.
Yeah, it's a program that won the state championship back in 1996, a number of playoff appearances, and it was exciting the last couple of years to see that enthusiasm back in the program. Let's talk about your coaching staff for a minute. I know you're excited about those guys this year.
Very excited. Hired Rob Allen, that's been with Perry Lyles at Ripley the last 6 or 7 years, and he's going to be the defensive coordinator. And we hired our Darius Jones that played at Hines Community College, and he's been really good with offensive and defensive lines this summer and this spring when he got here. Kids have really taken to both of them. I'm glad for the kids because it was just really my voice last year with 2 part-time assistant coaches and having 2 full-time guys. They know that are there every day. It's just been tremendous for those kids to see them flock to those guys. For knowledge about their position or their group. So that's been great for us.
I know earlier we were talking about junior high, and then before today's show we were talking about the junior high schedule. I know you are appreciative of the coaching staff at junior high as well.
Oh, yeah. Coach Jones, he's going to be the head junior high coach. He has a base knowledge of what we're going to do offensively and defensively, and he's the youngest one on the staff, and it's a different, I won't say a different mindset, but a different traits it takes to be a really good junior high coach. Being younger is going to help him, being able to identify with some of those guys, and then Coach Clark, who's going to help when he doesn't have golf matches, and then Chris Davian Thornton, who's coming back. That was a senior manager when I first got here in the spring before we had a season. He's going to come back and help the junior high too. So there's going to be some young blood. There's going to be some old blood. A good mixture of coaches to help with the 7th and 8th graders.
And for those watching that are unsure how the breakup of the different age groups and that sort of thing 7th and 8th will play.
We will play a
How will we
combined.
break it up?
We will play a combined schedule this year because we don't have enough 8th graders to have those separate teams. So we're going to combine the 7th and 8th graders together.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, in some of those games, we'll be able to have a 5th quarter that'll be untimed and X amount of plays after the game, after that first game is over. Hopefully, we can work that out with those coaches that week to make sure everybody plays and get some experience that night.
And as you see on the screen, the junior high schedule, home and away this year, you're able to work it out to where the guys will play the team on the road and then the team at home.
Yeah, 3 teams, one time here, one time there. As of right now, we're fortunate enough that we're going to be able to play a JV schedule for 4 of those 6 games against South Pontotoc and against Water Valley. In those 4 games, we'll have the JV game after the junior high for the guys that don't start on the varsity, which is great experience for them.
Yeah, I've had a chance to visit with some of the kids that are going into the 7th grade, and they're really excited about being a Bruce Trojan playing on this football team. Let's transition over to high school just for a moment, Coach. And you lost some talent on offense last year, but I know from talking with you earlier, you're excited about your offense this year.
Oh yeah, we graduated a great player in J. Cole Williams, but I mean he played in 4 games last year. So we kind of learned to play without him and accent other people's strengths. And Josh Long came on as a quarterback and threw for 1,800 yards and close to 20 touchdowns. We worked on his decision making and I've worked as a coach to do things that accentuate the things he does great, not just stuff that I want to call offensively. It's the stuff that he feels comfortable with and that he does well and that the receivers do well and the running backs do well. So I've adapted to them too. And so far through the spring and now that we're finished with the summer, there's been a lot of progress on the grade side, on the offensive side.
Well, the downside, J. Cole goes down. The good side, you were able to get some really good experience with Josh Long. Offensively, is that type of offensive package as we saw last year going to kind of transition to this year?
Again, I expect all those guys that play. I mean, we played majority freshmen and sophomores after the first game, except for a couple of seniors and juniors kind of spotted in there, mainly offensive line guys. So they got, we'll say, great experience. They got live game experience, and there was a lot of good things that happened. It just, we had a problem finishing because usually freshmen and sophomores have a problem sustaining that level for 4 quarters when you're playing against junior and senior starters from the other schools. And so they gain valuable experience, whether it's through losses or through the few wins we had last year. So I expect them to take a step up this year, the guys that got meaningful playing time.
We saw Josh run the ball some at quarterback. When he turns around, hands it off, who are we going to be looking for running the football this year?
We have a collection of running backs this year. James Gator, J.D. Glaspie. There's Naquan Townsell. Got both Bolin twins, Carter and Corbin. There's a collection of them that we're going to try to narrow down to about 2 or 3 to focus on, and hope that we can stay healthy and then kind of adjust our depth to the other positions.
We saw Josh throw the ball down the field, utilize the tight end a lot last year. Who are some of the receivers we can be looking for?
Jermaine Jackson was first team all district, Super 22 for our district as a freshman. Had close to 700 yards receiving and 7 touchdowns as a freshman. Caden Jones was one of the best tight ends in our district. He's definitely stepped up and become a just better receiver. He's a tight end. He's a receiver. He's a kind of Swiss Army knife of a lot of things. So we can use just a big mismatch for the defense.
You talk about that offensive front. A lot of young players gained valuable experience, but a lot of experience coming back this year.
I would say that the thing that's made the biggest jump in consistency is the offensive line. And that's a lot with Coach Jones, but it's also a lot that those kids have been working together since pretty much last year, minus one or two kids here or there. They have taken upon themselves, and they've gotten. I mean, like the communication between them is great. They push each other every day in the weight room and outside. So we have more experience, and we have more guys pushing them that are younger because they've caught on to the what the older guys are doing that got to play a lot last year. Whether they were ready or not to play last year, they were playing. So those younger guys have caught on to what those older guys have been doing. So that's been the biggest jump for us is the consistency on the offensive line.
Who are some of the players on that offensive front that have come to these workouts during the summer and have made some pretty good strides forward?
Kadamian Jones and Josh Barker, they're the two seniors. They're two of our most physically gifted kids, strength wise. KD's been a starter since I've been here. Jaden Tunnel's returning at center after starting over half the season. Charlie Pointer's returning at guard after starting for over half the season. And Tylen Eccles is back at tackle after starting pretty much the whole season. So that's the good part. They all have that experience playing, and they've had to play multiple spots. So, we can move guys around and try to fit to our best needs. As a team, because they've been able to play the multiple spots and they already know it. So they're able to play more aggressively.
Experience, a great key on that offense, and hopefully the Trojans will score a lot of points when they kick it off here in a couple of weeks. We'll take a time out here from our sponsors, Wiggly of Bruce and Arriva. When we come back for the second half of the show, we'll also talk about the defense, talk about the schedule, and we'll hear from Bruce High School Principal Rebecca King back after this.
Things are changing. A lot of things we knew and loved are different now. When you live here, there's something lovely that seeps into your blood. Buy local, sell local, hire local. Invest in the community, integrity, faith, and trusting our people to do the right thing. And today, when you shop Piggly Wiggly, the money stays right here, where we live, where our homes are, where our schools are, where our businesses are, where our jobs are, and where these jobs will stay. And some things will never change at the Pig. We're for our neighbors in good times and bad. We stand with you. When asked for help, we show up. You'll find us on Little League fields and on parade floats and at church picnics. We're four families struggling to fill a dinner table. And at every turn, we look for ways to help you find what you need. That's why we try just a little harder when we go to work every day. We are the Pig, and everything it has come to mean. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
And welcome back to the second half of the Bruce High School Football Preview Show. I'm Brad Logan, alongside head coach Chuck Darbone. And coach, we talked about the offense. Now let's talk about that defense. And who are some players specific on that defensive front?
Yeah, same thing kind of as offense. Like we had a problem, I would say, sustaining the good things we did on defense, whether it would be a good first drive where we stopped them and made them punt, and then we had issues the rest of the game, or if it was we would play great for two plays and then give up a big play. We were very inconsistent, and that kind of comes with playing young kids, and we had to mix kids around too. It wasn't just like this kid started at this position every game. He might have to shift from this position to another one and have to learn something real fast because our next best guy up was his replacement and he had to move. So it wasn't a very consistent season defensively. Again, marked with some great things that we did throughout games, but we just couldn't put it all together for complete games.
What excites you about the defensive line this year?
Tylen Eccles, last year he led our defensive line in tackles for loss. He makes plays. He's a undersized kid, but very aggressive. First step is great. Very strong in the weight room. Very explosive strength. I expect him to have, I would say double-digit sacks. As a junior this year. JB Buggs comes back as a returning starter as the nose guard. It was his second year to play football as a junior last year, so he was still learning the game. He's one of our biggest kids, but also as one of the biggest kids, he has a great first step, and is quick side to side for a very big kid, and it causes problems inside for other people's blocking schemes.
Linebacker, a position that was pretty good last year. What we're looking like at linebacker this year?
We returned Marcus Brownlee. If obviously, I think if we had a better record last year, even if we had gotten second place in the district, he possibly wins Defensive Player of the Year in our district. He had 90-something tackles, and the stat that, I mean, ever since I've been a head coach or even a position coach, and pay attention to high school stats, he had 10 forced fumbles, and that is, I mean, that's one of those things that is hard to do. And he had one of them return for a touchdown, and he's just a leader on defense. He tells kids to where to go, where to line up, and what to look at. And last year we surrounded him by younger guys that hadn't started, so he was very helpful in their development as the season went on, because he took invested time in their growth, which definitely helped them. And as they've gotten a year older, I expect them to be a year better too.
The secondary saw some graduation this year, but you've got some guys to fill those spots.
Yeah, we graduated or transferred both safeties, and we returned our corners. We had a rotation of 3 corners that played practically every snap last year, and so having them back is great. There's going to be some adjustments, moving people, maybe moving one of them to safety. But there's younger guys to step up that already have stepped up, and are ready to play those safety spots. You know, just judging off the spring game and the little bit of 7-on-7 that we played this summer against other schools.
We talked about workouts and being rewarded for doing a number of workouts. I know there's a reward in for the players for that, but who are some younger players that you're excited to see on defense that could really contribute for you this year?
You know, like, again, it's kind of one of those things is like there's not a big 9th grade class. I want to say there's about 9 of them. You know, our 10th graders played a lot last year as freshmen, so I expect them to take that step up to be more consistent. You know, I expect big things from Carter and Corbin Bolin. Carter started for 3 or 4 games last year, and he was really good in those 3 or 4 games, and he had an injury that kind of derailed him after those. And his brother has really taken the offseason very seriously and put himself in contention to have a bigger role. J.D. Glaspie, he started at linebacker for about the first half of the season, and Carter replaced him because he was more consistent. But J.D. is a very aggressive kid, and he's starting to understand the game better and be in the right spot more consistently. And he's just a physical presence on the field, and it will be on offense and defense this year as he's gained a little more experience. Another one that didn't play much last year, we got a little bit of playing time towards the end, Tydarius Mitchell, who's one of our biggest kids. He'll be an upcoming sophomore, 6'1", 275. He has been really good on the defensive line this spring. He really surprised us with some of the stuff that he was able to do against Morville. Bryson Gibson, again, kid that started over half the season at defensive end, and we expect him to be better than he was as a starter as a freshman, and he's already starting to do that. You know, a combination of him and Tylen Eccles as defensive ends will be a very explosive group on the defensive line.
Schematically, defensively, kind of the same package as you guys had last year.
Very
for this
similar,
year.
but you know, unfortunately for me, since I had to call everything last year, I tried to make it pretty simple for us, for them, so we wouldn't be out of position a lot. But Coach Allen, you know, the good part about him is he has made it simple within what we're doing, like kind of adding on to what we've already done over the last couple of years. So it's not like a full scale change. It's him being able to teach it better and have better, I don't know, it will say just because he is the defensive coach, I think it's better that the kids are hearing it from him and not me for every information that they needed for a game plan. I think they've taken to having their specific defensive coach, and they've picked up more this offseason. Just being able to build on what we did last year and add on, the things that Coach Allen has found successful from his previous stints.
It feels like just from me watching on the outside looking in, the evolution of the defensive player under your tutelage since you've been the head coach, it's become a lot more physical. And what I mean by that is it began to be more physical, but they weren't wrapping up and taking the runner to the ground. Now, last year, we saw the physicality and making the tackle, taking them to the ground. What leads to that, and what are you kind of anticipating for this year? And, what makes that player so physical? Is it the workouts? Is it the way you practice? What are some things you're looking for this year?
I would say it's a combination of all those things you said. I mean, obviously the kid has to want to tackle somebody. That's you have to run towards contact. One of the biggest parts of tackling is being in the right position. A lot of people don't understand. All you hear is make the tackle. It's like, well, if the kid take one wrong step and they're handing the ball to their best player, and our kid's not looking at what he's supposed to be looking at, and he takes the wrong step the other way, he's already beat. He's not going to make the tackle regardless. And because they're handing the ball or they're throwing the ball to their best player or their second best player. And so our guys, they have to do a better job of understanding what their role is. And I think that's, again, how Coach Allen has been able to, I would say, make it easier for them to understand what their role is on the defense and how it helps the guy next to him, behind him. He's done a great job of communicating that to them, and they've started to play, I would say, better team defense. But as far as the tackling goes, practice, I mean, we're going to be live. We're going to wrap up. We're not to the ground every day, but there's going to be 2 or 3 physical periods in our practice, whether it's a tone setter in between, changing from offense to defense, or at the beginning of practice to get the excitement up. There's going to be some physical contact in our practice, and the kids love it, especially when it's out in front of all of them, because there's no hiding.
As we see the schedule, Coach, on the screen, a lot of new faces on this schedule. I know you're excited about it.
Yeah, when you're not as successful the second year of the last schedule, there's a lot of people that call you, and not being from this area originally, I immediately had to start put the Google in and be like Bruce High School to this one, Bruce High School to this one, to see if the travel is worth it. But you kind of ask, the kind of the old Bruce guard, like, hey, have we ever played this school before? Would this be a good matchup? And I did my research on my own, and I just, based on the ones that called me, as I narrowed it down, it came up with 5 non-district teams that I thought was a good mixture of things we're going to see later in the season, offensively and defensively. So it's not like we're going to see 5 true spread teams, and then our whole district is under center, 2 tight ends, run the ball. But it's a good mixture of things that the other schools are doing offensively and defensively that'll get us ready for the district schedule.
Yeah, as we see those non-district teams on the screen, who are some teams you're excited about playing?
I like that we start the season with South Bonatoc and Vardaman. They're both familiar foes. Our kids know each other. I mean, both schools, because they play each other in practically every sport. So I like starting off with both of them. We'll travel to Faulkner, which I don't think they've played Faulkner or Bruce in a while. We got Coffeyville back on the schedule, which is one of the closest schools to us. Who's got a new coach. I heard a couple of exciting things about them and some of the 7-on-7 tournaments that they've got some kids out. They should be more competitive. And then Jay-Z George, who we've played in junior high since I started here. Just based on us playing in junior high and the competitiveness, we called each other and we're like, well, can we make it happen for high school? And we did. We had an open week and we made that work. And later on we drew the I think the week 8 opening in our district schedule. And luckily for us, because I'm not a big fan of open weeks, that MS Palmer, who we've been playing in our district the last 2 years, had the same exact opening after their district meeting. So we were able to keep that going, which I think has been a competitive game both years, and our kids have rose up to the opportunities in that game. So very happy to get them back on the schedule.
The district has changed up some this year. What are you looking forward to with that new district schedule?
It's kind of weird to say, but counting our jamboree, we went 1-3 against our current district that we'll play for the next 2 years. But I think with the opportunities that we have, growth-wise, from last year's loss to those teams to now, we've made some huge steps forward. And I know our kids believe that they can compete and beat any of those schools on any night. Not to say they're overconfident, but I'm glad we have a familiarity with them already, that we've already played all 4 teams in the new district the previous season.
He's Coach Chuck Darbon. We'll get ready to kick it off here in a couple of weeks. Bruce High School football is right around the corner. We appreciate Coach joining us here on the preview show. We'll take a time out and come back and hear from the brand new principal here at Bruce High School, Rebecca King. Stay tuned.
Arriva is your local high-speed internet and voice provider. With 9 locations in 2 states, Arriva is building the ultimate network to power high-quality, secure, affordable, fast connections. Whether it be your telephone or gig internet connection, Arriva provides what you need to connect, just like they have for over a century. Arriva is driven by a mission to connect lives and strengthen communities through world-class broadband service. Their roots trace back to humble beginnings in small-town Mississippi, where the business was born with an unwavering commitment to service and connection. Today, as a family-run business spanning multiple states, they honor that legacy while embracing innovation and growth. Arriva believes in the power of connection. They're dedicated to delivering exceptional service, supporting the communities they serve, and empowering brighter futures. Sign up today and save $5. It's easy. Go paperless and get a one-time bill credit of $5. Want to save even more? Sign up for AutoPay and receive a one-time bill credit of $5. For more information, give the Bruce office a call today, 662-983-4343, or go online to goarriva.com. Arriva, a proud supporter of Bruce High School.
Welcome back to the final segment today at the Bruce High School Football Preview Show. We're excited to have our brand new principal, Rebecca King. And Rebecca, first of all, congratulations. Brand new principal here. Not a new face, but kind of a new position. I know you're excited.
Thank you. I am very excited to get the year started.
A lot of meetings happening today. I know we had a chance to visit with some of your teachers, but boy, everybody's running around, but it's a controlled chaos.
Well, thank you. Yes, that is normally how you could describe school. We have lots of chaos. We just try to organize it and make it meaningful chaos too.
You've worn a lot of hats at Bruce, whether it be through the district here in Calhoun or here at Bruce High School. What led you to make this decision, and then kind of what are you excited about, and for any challenges or anything you've got coming?
I don't know of any specific challenges right off the bat. I think the first challenge is going to make it through the first day, and then we'll figure out what comes next. I have had a lot of experiences that all will kind of play into this role. So I've been a bookkeeper, a classroom teacher, a transportation director. I've served the role of student services, which was counselor for a while, and I had the opportunity to serve as a special education teacher. So I plan on using all of that knowledge that I've gained through those experiences and bringing them together. I think that what I've learned is the most important, and what I will continue to take forward as my new role is to advocate. So it is my responsibility to advocate for students, to advocate for our community, and to advocate now for my staff.
Yeah, you talked about that staff. I know you've surrounded yourself with some really good talent, and the staff here is paramount for success.
Yes, absolutely. Couldn't do this without. Sandy
People
is returning as assistant principal.
Right.
And then we've got 2 new teachers that are serving as our lead teacher. So Miss Brownlee, Sandy Brownlee, she is actually not a new teacher to Bruce, but she's going to be new to the building that she's working in, and she's new to our lead teacher role. And then also we have Coach Rob Allen, who is joining Bruce back again. He was here previously, and now he's joining us back, and he's going to serve as our other half lead teacher.
We've got Miss Suzanne back as our counselor.
Yes,
Can I
our counselor?
have to have?
Yes, we got to have Miss Oakley.
Wears a
We
lot
gotta
of
have her
hats.
function.
Miss
Absolutely.
Oakley, of course, does a phenomenal job with our Center Sage team. Can't wait to see what's
Yes.
next
Oh, I know.
on the docket
I haven't
in February.
heard yet, so.
Michelle does a great job,
Yes.
coordinating things. You've got all your front office people,
Yes.
but everybody here in the school is here for one reason, and that is for the education of the students. And we've got a really good crew of kids this year.
Absolutely, we do. We're looking forward to welcoming them back.
And we've got the elementary, that kind of transition. There's no more upper elementary, so to speak. It's 5 through 12. Does that present a challenge, maybe?
The
We'll
only
kind of go back and
challenge,
forth?
honestly, is that we are, it's just a lot of different needs. So trying to make sure that we're hitting all the areas of concern, because what a fifth grader needs on a daily basis is different than what a senior in high school needs. So making sure that we have a well-rounded staff that can approach all of those needs is really important, and I think we do.
And before we let you go today, you were a Trojan. I was a Trojan. Your dad, your mom,
Yes.
lifelong Bruce person. I guess how rewarding is it to be kind of the lead person, the principal at the school you went to, and then kind of representing our town as the principal at Bruce High School?
That's definitely the best part of this job. So I hope to invest my time, my energy into keeping something that I know is great, continuing its greatness, and hoping that it'll be great for my children someday.
It's going to be a fun year as the school year kicks off before the football team kicks off. I know you're excited about football season.
Yes,
We all are.
always,
But we
yes.
appreciate Rebecca King, our brand new principal here at Bruce High School, joining us. School is right around the corner. And we appreciate you joining us. Thankful for our sponsors, Arriva here in Bruce, and also the Bruce Piggly Wiggly. It's the Bruce High School Football Kickoff Show. We'll see you at the football field soon. Thank you for joining us.